Hey Shrirang, how are
Yeah,
you?
how's it going, man? How's it going?
Good, good, good. So this
Morning.
how's it going slang? Is it Indian? Did you adopt it? I get a great vibe, whenever I hear that. I still remember the first time we met, and I was just stuck on this, these words, which is a good sign for an individual. If you can leave an impression in any way, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So as we have a belief in sales that before selling the products, do your own sales, right? Sell yourself. So yeah, maybe good, may not be for some, but I have that great impression. So hey, how's it, man?
Life is fun. It never could be better. I mean, it's a lot of fun going on. It allows me to learn a lot of new things. And I think, in fact, I can tell you a story about what we've been able to do. So, me and my boy, we are helping each other with keyboards. And
Keyboards, okay.
he teaches me the keyboard, which is like the piano or music keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and I teach him the C++ keyboard, which is the computer keyboard. So we are exchanging keyboard knowledge to each other to help each other. So this quarantine gave me a massive opportunity to learn something new.
Glad. So something which you had never done in 2 decades or 3 decades, maybe with your family, maybe 2 decades.
2 decades. No, I think it's not that I used to play a lot with my boys. I used to play football, and I think there was this kind of a no-go time that I had put for myself
Oh,
to say that these 3 hours I will not take any business calls. So it allowed me to, whenever I was not traveling, it allowed me to spend a good amount of time with my children. But keyboard is something that my younger one learned, and I did not. I mean, now we are teaching each other.
oh, nice. Good to learn something at this young age.
Absolutely.
Good for
So
it. Hey,
Ganeha, tell me
why?
how young I
Why?
am,
I
right?
mean, I'm just inquisitive. Why is there so much stationery behind you? What is it, or is it you're using your kids' room or something?
No, no. I think there. I think there is a whiteboard and then there is some stationery, and
Wow,
you can see there is some masks. Yeah,
nice.
and then there is some computers. Let me see if I can show the computers. And there is a few computers out here, few devices.
Is that an
That's it.
office? Is that a home?
That's my home office.
Home office. Wow, yeah, the stationery I have not even seen in an office. So yeah, good, good, to,
So it's
good to create
always
that
it's
professional.
always good to write something, and it's always good to make sure that your left and right hands are continue to work. So I just always try
Left
to take
hand,
some
right hand,
notes.
or left brain and right brain? Or
No, it's
you
actually both.
write with both hands?
Left. So there's a story of productivity that I learned very early in the game, and I joined the computers industry way back in the 90s.
Okay.
And in those days, there was, I mean, the mouse, and there was no way to take notes, no clipboards, nothing like that. And my first job was in customer support. So people would call me, and I would say that, okay, this is what there is a problem in the computer, there is a problem here, there, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would do is I trained myself to use the mouse with the left hand so that I can write with my right hand.
Oh wow.
And it also helped me a lot because what it did was in those days the computer was always shared. So people never bothered to touch my computer if it's available because it had a left-handed mouse. So they would say it doesn't work very well. It had to change the mouse setting, etc. So I used to always get my computer back. I did have a problem with the chairs because people would take my chairs and run away. But I think I was able to save the computer with this trick of left hand, right hand.
Good. I think. I mean, the first word when you gave this example, the first word that that hit my mind was adaptability and getting accustomed to what you have and what you can, and rather the best you can make out of whatever you have. So I think it's a very small example, but speaks tons of the adaptability that you have had in your character as a whole, and hence I decided to talk to you as one of my LinkedIn influencer.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Shrirang, talking about the adaptability and the adoption, I was just going through your LinkedIn profile. Not that I don't know you, but just out of curiosity, I haven't had a chance to visit your professional profile, since long, and I find so many of these technical jargons as your title. You have 5G, you have Wi-Fi 6, you have cyber security, you have DevOps, something I don't know. Sorry, right? So it is quite broad, yet pretty unique. So how do you how do you position yourself? If it, I mean, if this is not a say for example a scenario where you don't have to sell yourself based on your resume, yet you have to position your skills, whatever you
Mhm.
possess, or your adaptation. How do you do that?
So I think there is a phrase that we were taught. I think this was by one of my earlier managers. I don't want to name him right now. He's a very famous personality.
Sure.
But there's a phrase that was taught to me, which is circuit complete karo. And I was just saying, what does it actually mean, circuit complete karo? And
Mm-hmm.
it was these five things: CERQT, which is cost, experience, risk, quality, and time.
Wow.
And this is the circuit. And it's like a sine wave that goes through that. So the cost has to go down, so the experience has to go up, the risk has to go down, quality has to go up, the time has to go down, right? That's how the
Wow.
wave goes through the circuit world. I'm just kind of the engineering bend.
Wow.
And and actually this has been the mantra for all the stuff that I have done, is find out ways and mechanisms and means and tools and platforms and people, whatever way you could, to complete the circuit. The moment the circuit is complete, or even if you're able to tick few of those boxes,
Mm-hmm.
or ride those waves, if I can use that word, uh, the value comes in. And if you see the kind of words that I have put in the profile or what I've been currently interested in, I see that there is this uh, there is this you know perfect storm that is coming up. That's, I mean, it's a very cliche term nowadays, but there is a perfect storm like 5G and Wi-Fi 6. I think they will augment each other. They will help each other to enable the IoT and the connected devices ecosystem, which will require a lot of data and analytics to run everything that they're trying to do. And then I have to make sure that I connect all these dots in a very, very efficient way, which is where the DevOps and automate everything approach. So I think these are the areas of
Wow.
interest. And then there is another area of passion, Swapnil, that I have. The passion area I have is that I've always been intrigued with mathematics since my
Mm-hmm.
school days. And mathematics and cryptography go very well hand in hand.
Sure.
And that is where the cybersecurity angle comes in. And we've been working on something really, really, really interesting, that will replace a 40-year-old technology, and hopefully it will be one of the first major inventions from India to talk about do something in cryptography, something that we are piloting right now with some banks and the defense and other guys. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, see, these passions keep you entertained always. There's never a dull moment.
Yeah, and I know a lot of professionals like you who just keep getting younger. With the with the smart brains. I don't know what keeps you all going, but it's always an inspiration personally whenever I interact with you or any other professional whom I really admire. So great,
Thank you.
so great story for for the people who are listening. Guys, this is really a great time to talk to Shrirang because it's early. It's very early in the morning. Normally, I don't shoot my episodes at at this hour, but we both had this convenient time, and and as they say, it's a great genuinely it's a good morning, Gyan. So yeah, thank you for that. So coming back to the quarantine period and the lockdown. So What is that new thing which which you didn't knew about your family, say your kids or your any of family members, that you just learned? Is there anything very unique? Could be extremely in the either direction, but is there anything unique?
Unique, new, I think lots of new things that we learn about the talents that the kids have or the spouse has and other stuff. But I think the good part with this during this quarantine period was that we were able to figure out that some of us have got good culinary skills, some
Ah,
of us have good gardening skills. I think we were able to grow some real good harvest during the quarantine 2 months.
nice.
And I think when we thought of doing that, we also did what is called as hydroponics, and we
Mm-hmm.
also did what is called as I think kind of the the kitchen gardening that was being done.
Sure.
But I think trying to do some research behind it was something that was interesting. And I really figured out there is one big difference in the way or the times when I grew up and when my children are growing is they have Google to do everything, and we grew up without Google.
Yeah.
So for me, if I had to do something new, I would have to ask my parents, I would have to ask my chacha, mama, or anybody around me, an elderly person, to say, hey, I want to do this. What do you think?
Hmm.
And actually, I would go out and ask. We lived in a Sadashivpet, Pune, Vada, so it was like a lot of people around us, and etc. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
where I would go and ask the multiple people, saying same question, and try to figure out for myself as to what needs to be done. And then we said, hey, let's grow tomatoes, let's grow, chilies and stuff like that, and some leafy vegetables. My son, he Googled up and say, hey, this is the approach that we will take. I think
Yeah.
that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. And you know there was a saying at one point in time that Google may even take over the school culture, because there is so much knowledge available there. I know it's more of a cliche line, and we don't know when is that going, if and
I
when
don't
will
think
that
it'll
be
ever happen,
possible.
Swapnil. I don't think it's going to ever happen.
There are there are certain trials going on how e-education is being looked upon. Now e-education has two ways. One is you still have the professor and the teachers on the other side of the camera, but on the other side you have AI taking up the entire play there. So there are various flavors there. Now you have been again on this example, you have been a member on around the table, right? You have represented in a lot of capacities. You have represented in multiple profiles. What is that one thing which you still feel that when you sit in front of a customer or a partner, what's that one thing which you feel that, look, I've been in this industry for 25, 30 years. Is this one thing which is still missing in this ecosystem? Because I'm a firm believer that, yeah, from now till the next 5 years or a decade, it's going to be more of an ecosystem play. It's going to be more of a collaborative play. I personally doubt if there's going to be one company who's going to stand up and say that, hey, I do everything. Either they'll need to have partners, or they'll need to have an M&A route, right? So either it's going to be organic or inorganic. So
Mhm.
what's your thought on that?
I think it's
Sorry, go ahead.
bless you. That is the best thing that is happening. I think the monopolies are breaking,
Sure.
and people who want to think about the platform. So that is something that they will always continue to think because they will always offer the pre-integrated best of breed or best of suite or whatever. I think best of suite,
Mm-hmm.
best of breed that they will offer to people. However, if they don't offer the openness of go and collaborate with other parties, I think that creates a barrier in the people's minds. So one of the things that I have been here that I believe that that is missing in the industry that could have been is is understanding that the customer is also knowledgeable. So there is a
Yeah.
lot of people in the platform industry, in the tech industry, who just take the customer for granted, and then they try to sneak in and they try to
Oversell
over
the stuff.
glorify, over glorify themselves or their
Yeah.
platform and stuff like that. And then it becomes a little bit problematic situation.
Hmm.
So I think that is one thing that I believe if it was there, the it's not empathy is not the word, but the respect also is not the word. I have to find a new word for that probably. But
Yeah.
that ensuring
No,
that
I
the
get that.
customer is also knowledgeable. I think that's something that isn't that's I believe.
Sure.
So best of suite is here to stay, and with microservices and other integration and the open source movements that is going on, best of suite is here to stay.
Sure. I personally know that the word data and the word analytics are the two separate words for a lot of people around. But for you, those words together have made a lot of sense over the past decade or so. A lot of people have, put their hands up in analytics or in data analytics, you know, thinking that it's way too simple. Even I believed so at one point in time. But so if you had a couple of minutes or a minute, and how would you put that in a very simplistic form, right? You know, that look, this is what data is, this is what analytics is, and this is what we actually mean by data analytics.
So it's very difficult to express without the charts and the data
Yeah.
for this
Or
question, right?
without the
So there
stationaries.
is
Yeah.
there is the data, there is the information, there is the insight, there is the analytics, there is the insight, right?
Sure.
So I had seen a very nice chart explaining, and I think I'll just figuratively explain that to you. So it's like, there's multiple dots, and there's just people say it's data. And some of those dots, when they get color, it is
Mm.
information that, hey, these dots have color. Then one of some of those colored dots get connected, it talks about there being a graph or a chart,
Sure.
or that is the analytics that comes out. Now, when all of the colored graphs and they are able to connect from one end to the other end, it is called insight. That hey, I can do these things.
Wow.
Uh, and then it keeps on going on, and eventually, I think the the ability for us to convey the information, which is very, very complex, in a simple manner that anybody can understand, I think is what is the analytics piece of it, data analytics, and figuring out insights from that data automatically, which a human could do easily after being trained, is the machine learning or insights development approach that is going on right now.
Sure.
So so data analytics for me is really passionate. I think during this COVID period, everybody has got exposed to data analytics. The number of people who have got conversations about the charts, and right from the daily moving charts, which say the COVID graph is going up, going down, this is going to plateau, logarithmic scale graphs, and all that stuff. It's been a good time uh, for for making sure that analytics and the data analytics reaches to the edge.
Yeah.
And that's what is
That's
happening,
another flavor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
That is seen. Yeah, yeah. So that will, I think, blossom in the COVID period or post-COVID period. One of the positive offshoot of this from a technology standpoint.
Yeah, so I think the only beginnings of this is happening with your healthcare apps, which
Sure.
actually tell you a lot about yourself. That hey, Swapnil, you have walked less in this week, you're
Yeah.
walking more in this week, shows you the graphs. So edge analytics and edge data management, I think, is something that makes it a little bit easier, or that makes it democratized. But
Yeah.
it also is the other side of the story is that people think that hey, it's too easy, and when you peel the onion, you know that it's not very easy.
Oh, it's definitely not. I've done that in the past couple of years. So yeah, that's definitely not easy. Right, so Shrirang, we come on to the final segment, and post which you get a chance to ask me a question, if in case you are interested to. So, just few quiz questions for you. These are random fun questions. Some part of your domain. Most of them are part of your domain. The round is called "Who am I?" I'm going to pose you a situation, and you're supposed to identify what am I talking about. So here goes your first
Okay,
one. Then, I'm a process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling data. Who am I?
ETL.
ETI is, oh wow, so this feels I'm talking to a CXO. Yeah, so My answer said data analytics, sorry, data analysis, but then yeah, I mean, ETI is fair as well. So that's extract, transform, and what was I? I forgot.
ETL,
Oh, the
extract,
extract,
transform, and
transform,
load,
load. Yeah,
ETI.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right, right.
Which is actually the process. So it's like for me, a lot of things have been coming back with the same, like old wine in new bottle.
Yeah,
So ETL probably is the name from the 90s, and nowadays they call it data wrangling, data, I mean, different words.
yeah. I'm a collection of data or computer instructions that tell the computer how to work.
I'm a collection
I am a
or
collection
correction.
of collection. I am a collection of data or computer instructions that tell the computer how should it work.
Metadata.
Software.
So okay.
Yeah,
Program. That came to my eyes. Program.
yeah. Program is fair. I am a computing interface which defines the interactions between multiple software intermediaries.
Integration Hub, ESB,
No,
Enterprise Service
I
Bus
can't
that
give you the.
integrates
No, it is. It
Core
is. It.
Bar.
It is still. It is still slightly more simple. It is API.
Okay.
Yeah. So just yeah. So all these questions are pretty simple. Yeah. I am a set of practices that combines the software development and IT operations.
That is DevOps, right?
Pretty good. I thought so you would get this straight away. I enable private IP networks that use unregistered IP addresses to connect to the internet.
Reverse proxy or VPN.
It is NATing.
Nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So,
Network address
so this is
translation.
like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you have to come down from 10,000 feet to about 5,000 feet and then answer, or if you don't think again, you are kind of yeah. All right. So the next one is my elder siblings are called .ac.n. I am the youngest one. Who am I?
dot AC.
My elder siblings are called. I'll make it more simpler. My elder siblings are called .11ac and .11n. I am the youngest one. Who am I?
Which is Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, but .11
AX.
x. That's right. Right. What is the full form of Wi-Fi?
Oh, I have no idea.
Good. So something that you'll learn today. Wow. Good.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's always
Wire,
learn something new.
wireless fidelity.
Wireless fidelity. Now it gets comes back to me. Yes,
Yeah.
the 802.11a,
Yeah. That's right.
first one.
First one. That's right. All right. So the last
Yeah.
one for the episode then. I formed the approach for delivering large scale cloud computing resources and infrastructure within an enterprise IT environment. I'll repeat. I
I
formed
found.
the approach for large scale cloud
Uh-huh.
computing resources and infrastructure within an enterprise IT environment.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Something like something that you
Web scale,
form or you form found.
web scale.
Web scale. Okay. Yeah. See, there is a lag and I'm missing some of the words. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
Web scale. That's right.
the video and the audio have slightly gone bad in the last 10-15 seconds. I don't know if you can
That's
hear
right.
me
That's right.
the real time. But all right, so we are at the end of the episode. Shrirang, any question that you want to ask in case if the bandwidth permits, I'm happy to answer.
So, Swapnil, I think just like you talked about, uh, my first meeting with you was at the airport, and we were traveling together to South Africa.
Oh yeah,
And after that, I have been saying that you are always on the plane or you're always traveling. And when the travel is not possible, I guess you pull out your car and just go. So what is the origin of this wanderlust?
wow, good one. See, I think I've kind of figured out three, four things in life that keeps me going. So travel is one thing which which keeps my blood up and thumping, right? I love meeting new people. That's as simple as that is the reason, right? I love meeting new people, be it domestic, be it international, doesn't matter. God has been kind, company has been gracious, that I've been trusted for the international customer engagements. So I think throughout all my employers, it's not only my current employer, all my employers, I've been on the road most of the times. And this and the reason is I love interacting with people. I love articulating myself. I love articulating what I'm supposed to articulate. Uh, you know, and then getting something new out of a new continent or a new country is another level of satisfaction, which is which is not which I can't explain, or which I can't express, but I always look forward to that. I have had days wherein I've put myself in three different time zones in a week, but that still got the best out of me. So it's just the way that I am. My family has the same issue slash complaint that, hey, how can you be so active? My spouse has that, but I think that's it's very important for any individual. Again, I'm too young to kind of see this statement. Sorry, but it's very important for any individual or any professional to figure out two or three important things in life which are going to keep them going all the time, right? And you have to keep on repeating them, irrespective you are sad, you are happy. Just keep doing those three, four things. Eventually you will get that happiness, because you have identified those two, three things in in your peace of mind. So I think that's just me.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I mean it's a great thing. Do it as long as I think make sure that you are able to. I wish all the good health to you to continue doing that for life, and
I
make
appreciate
sure
that.
that
Likewise.
you bring the learnings back to all of us.
I appreciate that's a very, very honoring line to end with. So thank you, Shrirang. Thank you for taking out time. Thank you for being my guest and allowing your few minutes of your schedule on this. Thank you. You have a good day ahead, mate. Cheers. Take care. Bye.
Lovely. Take care. Bye.
Bye.